All right, friends, it is 4:30 on Monday. Yep, Monday, November 8th. We're going to talk about bylaws today. Let me see if I can share my screen. Looky. Yep, there we go. All right, so I'm sharing my screen, and I think you can see me too. We'll see if that works out. Maybe I snatch this and I drop it over here just for fun. Okay. All right, so basically, we're going to talk about bylaws. The bylaws that we have right now are 2016. That was the last time bylaws were approved by the MMEA general membership, and you're going to see those listed right over here on the far side. That says 2016 final. And I really wanted you to be able to see exactly what they are now and what the changes are. And then further to the side there, you're going to see where it says notes. And that's what changes were made and why. There's two sets of changes. One is considered the green bundle. And I consider those to be essential. And they don't have anything to do with a shift in philosophy or anything like that. It is really just about simple governance and being in compliance with the way we need to operate. So I'll read that. Green Bundle proposed changes to bylaws that are essential additions for legal compliance. And that's about clarity, gender neutrality, and discretion in the case of extenuating circumstance. Also includes new clauses related to term limits and eligibility, particularly related to retired music educators, as well as some clarifications about removal from office, should people not be able to fulfill the duties of office and how that succession works. Those changes are large, bold, and also green, so you ought to be able to find them fairly easily, even if you have colorblind issues. The red bundle is entirely related to the leadership structure change, and it puts, it's the additional vice presidential positions, and it is also the stagger for regional representation. Those are not essential to the way we do business, although I believe that they are absolutely essential to future change in our organization. Those are red bundles. So they're larger, bolder, they're underlined, and they're additionally in red. All right, so let's go down. In Article 1, sections 1, 2, 3, and 4, there are no changes. Just wanted to put out there, there's a lot of discussion about whether or not we should be involved with the NAFME affiliation. If we make a change of that nature, that is something that's written into our bylaws, and so would have to be adjusted and voted on by the whole membership. So I just wrote that in there. In Article 1, Section 1, we made additional clauses for retired people and added a clause for status for when elected members' employment status changes midterm. And this is just really to be clear about who is eligible, who is not, and why. Within 5 years of retiring, we believe that people can serve on a board and be really useful and relevant voices, and our previous bylaws did not allow for that. No changes in section 2, 3, 4, and 5. Down in the following area, under Board of Directors, section 1, there's some really significant changes in here. Most of those are related to the vice president and adding of those vice presidents. So please be sure you read through those. I am going to attach this to the documents as well. If you run into any questions, you're wondering why this is happening, what's going on, definitely go through the additional YouTube videos that I've made, that I've gone through the why we're making changes, and then additionally the structure change and what that looks like, and then the staggering for region representation and what that looks like. And then these are the actual legal bylaws that support those changes. So definitely read through all of those. This vote will be up in January along with the elections of these incoming VPs. If the new class of VPs, if the bylaws are not passed, the new class of VPs will still be instituted, but just in a different structure. They'll go under the chair, council of chairs instead. But it would be our preference for them to be voting members of the board, since they are in charge of large portions of our programming. Replacing his or her is language throughout. That's under a green provision to make everything gender neutral. Half of the region reps will be elected. We do have 4 that are extending a term from this year into the next. So that we'll have a stagger instead of all 8 region reps changing at the same time. Sections defining council of chairs. Please read through all of that. Removal of board of directors, section of 7. Up to date, there is no language for removal of a person not doing the job or responsibility with integrity. So basically, I want to read this out to you. The board of directors, by quorum vote, may remove any person from the board or candidacy for any of the following infractions: criminal or civil misconduct, disciplinary dismissal from a position of employment, criminal or civil misconduct. Nope, repeated that one. It's worth repeating. Mismanagement of MMEA funds. Failure to follow MMEA protocol. Lapse in fiduciary duty, including but not limited to excessive absence from board or committee meetings or otherwise not fulfilling the duties of office. Abusive language or conduct at meetings. Additionally, a person may be removed from office by unanimous vote of no confidence from the remaining voting members of the board. No person can be removed without notice of the vote or the opportunity to speak to the board of directors for a reasonable length of time prior to the vote. Exceptions to standard removal for extenuating circumstances at the complete discretion of the voting members of the board. That's really important. Right now, there's no mechanism for removing someone from the board for misconduct of any sort or for not fulfilling their duties. And that's completely unacceptable. Term limits, we're saying that 10 years is the time that people should be serving on the board concurrently. And that language is not defined currently in the bylaws. Section 9 is really about electronic communication. This is really to protect actions that need to happen in between board meetings, and there are a lot of them. In the past, in some cases, executive board has been pushed to make those decisions in between meetings because they must be made. And now we have a provision, we'd like to pass this provision as something that is a way for us to do business in between meetings when action is required that isn't under the purview of discretion of the executive board. So this is really an essential piece of bylaws that our bylaws did not have. And then this last one down here is about external financial review. Our bylaws, the way I read them, said that we need to have an external audit, no matter the size of our budget. And I'd like to rewrite that to say that when it is required by state statute that we have to do it, and if we are under the threshold of income and expense, that we do not need to do an external audit. Audits are very, very expensive, and frankly, it's a burden on the organization to be required to do them when we are not meeting the income and expense threshold by state statute. All right, the rest of this is down here. I will attach this document just as is. If anybody has any questions, you can email me at execdirector@mmea.org, execdirector@mmea.org. Thanks, friends.